Today I'm going to teach you a real simple recipe for making homemade strawberry watermelon wine. It's a real simple wine to make. You can make it in your kitchen with less than $5 worth of ingredients and materials. And usually you've got the stuff right here in your house already to make it with. The things you're going to need for this wine: you'll need one balloon and one rubber band. You'll need a blender. You need a small measuring cup. Cup that'll hold around 1 cup will be fine. You'll need something to extract the juices from the watermelon. I use a coffee cup, but anything with a flat bottom will work just as good. You're going to need two pretty good sized bowls, and as you can see, the bowls will be for holding the juice from your watermelon. You need a colander. I prefer one with small holes like this one, and that keeps the majority of the pulp from getting through into the wine itself. You'll need a small funnel. You'll need a 1/4 ounce package of yeast, wine yeast if you have it. If you don't have wine yeast, regular baking yeast will work just as good. You'll need a nylon stocking. You'll need a 1/2 pound of sugar, which I've got in this container here, and you'll need a gallon jug. And the first thing you're going to want to do is take one whole watermelon and cut it up separate it from the rind and cut it into cubes. And you're going to place it into one of your large bowls. I'm not going to be doing this part on film today. I've already got that part done. I'm just going to take you through the process. Now, once you've got your watermelon cut up and into one of your bowls, you're going to take your coffee mug or whatever you plan on using to extract the juices, and you're going to move it in a circular motion, mashing down on the watermelon to extract the juices. Once you've got that done, you'll take your colander and place it in your other bowl. You're going to take your juice and pour it into your colander. And what this does, it allows the juice to seep through while keeping any pulp from the watermelon itself in the colander, and then you would just empty your pulp back into your other bowl, and you repeat that process. You're going to probably have to do that at least 3 or 4 times before you get all of the juice extracted from the watermelon. And once you have all of your juice extracted from the watermelon and you've got it in your bowl, you're going to take the juice and pour it into your measuring cup. And at this point, we're going to take the nylon stocking and we're going to place it inside the gallon jug. You can see with that a little bit hang down. You're going to roll the top of it up and fit it snugly across the opening of your jug to make sure it doesn't come off when you start pouring the juice. And as you can see, I've already got the watermelon juice in this jug. You're going to then take your measuring cup and bring it over here. You're going to place your funnel inside the nylon stocking like that, and you're going to pour the juice into your funnel. And once you've poured all the juice from your bowl into your stocking, you're going to wait for that juice to seep through your stocking. And the purpose of the stocking is just to catch the pulp. Any pulp that made it through the colander will get caught in the stocking. And once all your juice has flowed through, you're going to double check your stocking to make sure it's still tight around there. And at this point, you're going to take your strawberries and put them in a blender. Now, I use 16 ounces of strawberries. You can use more or less depending on the taste that you're trying to achieve. But you place your strawberries in the blender, and you're going to want to blend them until you get a puree, until it's just as liquefied as it can be. You know, when you can't get it any more liquefied, then you're done. But you want to get it as liquefied as you can. And once that's done, just like the watermelon, you're going to take your strawberries and you're going to pour them through the funnel into the stocking and wait for it to seep through the stocking into the jug. And once all the juice and the pulp are separated, you're going to remove your stocking from the jug. And at this point, you're going to place your funnel back in, and you're going to pour a ½ pound of sugar and a ¼ ounce of yeast into this mixture. You generally want to use a ½ pound of sugar per gallon of wine and a ¼ ounce per gallon. You're just going to help that process along, and this takes a few minutes for it to seep through. Now, a ½ pound of sugar is really not a lot as far as sweetening goes for a gallon of wine. But your goal at this point is not for the sweetness. You don't want to add any more sugar, because it's actually the alcohol or the sugar that turns to alcohol in the fermentation process. The first time I made this, I put about a pound or so of sugar in it, maybe a little more, thinking, I was just going to make it sweeter, and what I ended up with was basically watermelon moonshine. So if you don't want it real strong, stick to the ½ pound of sugar. And then once the fermentation process is complete, if you want it sweeter, you can add more sugar at that time. But for now, I advise sticking with the ½ pound. We've almost got it all in there. Now that we've got the ½ pound of sugar and the ¼ ounce of yeast in the wine, we want to fill this jug the rest of the way up with water. So let's do that. Now, we've got our gallon jug full. So we're going to place the top on it and shake it. And you're going to want to shake it until everything in there is well blended, and I haven't done this right now because I'm operating with one hand. But you shake that jug until all your sugar and yeast and everything is dissolved and everything is well blended together. And once you've got that done, you want to remove this cap. It's very important that you don't leave the cap on while the wine is fermenting, or else it'll just build up pressure and the jug's going to explode and you're going to have a bad mess. And now that you got your cap back on, you're going to take your balloon and your rubber band and fit it over the opening of your jug. And over here I've got a jug that I made last night. You can see what I'm talking about. You just want to take your balloon there and put a rubber band or a hair band or anything, as long as you can get it around there tight, around the rim of the jug, and that's to keep the balloon from popping off. Also, it's very important that you make a weight of bent, so you want to take a straight pin or something small like that. I used a small fish hook, but you just want to take something and poke 3 to 4 holes in the tip of your balloon. And what that does is give it room to vent. As the wine ferments, it releases gas, and the gas can escape through the pinholes in the balloon. And this also works as an indicator for when your wine is ready. As long as this balloon is blowed up like that, there's still gas being released, it's still fermenting. When the fermentation process is complete, which usually takes 3 to 4 weeks, the balloon will deflate and it'll just fall over limp. And that's how you know it's ready. As you can see, it's got a rich, dark red color right now. That won't last as it begins to ferment more. It will turn clear. This is a white wine. The fermentation process will remove all the color from it. If you're going for a red wine, or if you just like the color of the watermelon wine like it is now, then once the fermentation process is complete, you'll need to add food coloring, which won't affect the flavor or anything like that. Come over on this side and maybe, yeah, you can see the fermentation process happening right now. You see the bubbles rising. That's fermentation. That's what that looks like. And you're going to want to store this wine in a cool, relatively cool place, in a dark place. It does not need to be exposed to sunlight. Put it in a closet somewhere like that, it'll be fine. And you want to keep it between 70 and about 74 degrees is ideal for it. That's going to give you the best flavor and all that. And like I said, this should take about 3 to 4 weeks and this wine will be ready to drink. And what you want to do when the fermentation process is complete, it will have a little bit of pulp and particles that made it through both the colander and the stocking. There's just no way to avoid it. If you don't want that in your wine, I would recommend taking an old pillowcase or something like that, something that's not, porous enough for any of the particles to make it through, and just stretching that over a large bowl and pour the wine right out of your jug across that pillowcase or whatever you're going to use to help strain it one more time. And then take your finished product and put it in whatever bottle or jug you plan on drinking it out of. And that's all there is to homemade wine. I hope this works out for you. I hope you enjoy it.